job, I pay rent, complain about gas prices, binge watch shows I don't even like that much. I'm rational, logical, but there's something about seeing a countdown tied to your life that rewires your brain instantly. So I did what anyone would do. I tried to prove it wrong. First thing in the morning, I turned my phone off, completely. If the message came through the phone, no problem, right? Morning, wrong. I turned my phone
Because when I
off,
turned it back
completely. If
there
the
it
message
was,
came through the phone,
waiting.
then no phone,
You
no
have
problem, right?
11 hours
Wrong. I
remaining.
turned my phone
Because when
off,
I
same
turned it
message
back
style,
on,
completely, same emptiness. And that's when I noticed something new. A location tag. Not an address. Just 2 words. Union Station. Now, here's the thing. I wasn't planning to go anywhere near Union Station that day. I didn't even have a reason to be downtown. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is easy. If I avoid that place, I avoid whatever's supposed to happen. Simple, right? Wrong again. Because around noon, I got a call from my boss. Apparently, there was an emergency meeting. Guess where? Yeah, Union Station. At this point, I wish I could tell you I stayed home. Ignored it, quit my job, threw my phone into Lake Michigan and moved to another state. But that's not what I did, because part of me needed to know. Was this a coincidence, or was something actually controlling this? So I did. I went, and the entire time I was on my way there, my phone kept buzzing. Not constantly, just enough to remind me. 8 hours remaining, 6 hours remaining, each one tightening something in my chest, each one making it harder to breathe. By the time I got to Union Station, it was packed. People everywhere, trains coming in, announcements echoing. Normal, completely normal, which somehow made it worse, because nothing looked dangerous. No threat, no warning signs, just life, going on like nothing was about to happen. I checked my phone again. 2 hours remaining, and underneath it, a new line, one that hadn't appeared before. You cannot stop this. That's when I felt it, for the first time that day. Fear, real fear, not anxiety, not nerves, the kind of fear that sinks into your bones. Because suddenly, this didn't feel random anymore. It felt planned. So I tried to leave. I really did. But the second I turned toward the exit, my phone buzzed again. I looked down, and I swear to you, my blood ran cold. Because this time, it didn't show a countdown. It showed a photo, a picture taken from above. Right there, inside Union Station. And in the center of the image was me. And under it, just 5 words. We are already watching you. I didn't move. Not at first. Because when you see a picture of yourself, taken from an angle that shouldn't exist, your brain kinda just freezes, like it's trying to reboot reality. I looked up, slowly, scanning the ceiling of Union Station. Cameras. There were cameras everywhere. But this wasn't security footage. It couldn't be. The angle was wrong, too high, too precise, almost like whoever took it wasn't standing anywhere at all. My phone buzzed again. I didn't want to look, but I did. I had to. 1 hour, 32 minutes remaining. And below it, another message. Find the man in the gray coat. Now here's the part that still messes with me. Because of all the people in that station, my eyes landed on him instantly.
Like I didn't even have a choice. Gray coat, mid-50s, sitting alone on a bench, just staring straight ahead, not at his phone, not at the crowd, just still, too still. I told myself this was insane, that I was letting some weird glitch control me. But then I thought, what if it's not? What if this is the only way to survive? So I walked over. Every step felt heavier than the last. And when I finally got close, he spoke. Before I said a single word. You got the messages too, didn't you? I stopped cold. Two? I asked. He turned his head slowly, and I swear, I've never seen eyes like that before. Not scared, not surprised, just tired, like he'd already lived through something I hadn't yet. They told you when you're going to die, he said. Not a question, a fact. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. He already knew. Sit, he said. So I did, because at that point, nothing felt normal anymore. You're not the first, he continued. There are others. There were others. That word stuck with me. Were. What is this? I asked. Some kind of hack? A prank? He let out a quiet laugh, the kind that has no humor in it. I thought that too, he said. The first time. The first time? I repeated. He nodded, and that's when everything shifted. I died 3 days ago. Yeah, that's what he said. Just like that. Like he was telling me the weather. I stood up immediately. Okay, yeah, I'm done. This is insane. But he grabbed my arm, fast, stronger than I expected. Sit down if you want to live. Something in his voice. It wasn't panic. It was certainty. And that's what made me sit back down. You think this is about stopping your death, he said. It's not. Then what is it about? I snapped. He leaned in slightly, lowered his voice. It's about making sure it happens. That hit different, because up until that moment, I thought I was being warned. But what if I was being guided? I tried to avoid it, he continued, changed my route, ignored the messages, turned off my phone. Did it work? I asked. He shook his head. No matter what I did, I ended up exactly where it said I would be. My chest tightened. Then how are you here if you died? I asked. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and handed it to me. Look at the date. I did, and my stomach dropped instantly, because the date on his phone was 3 days ahead. This doesn't make sense, I said. It will, he replied. Soon. My phone buzzed again, louder this time, more aggressive. 45 minutes remaining. I looked back at him. What am I supposed to do? For the first time, he hesitated. You need to break the pattern. Pattern? What pattern? And that's when he said something that I still hear in my head every time my phone buzzes. Everyone who dies, he paused, looked directly at me, follows the instructions. Silence, loud, heavy silence. So what, if I don't follow them, I live? I asked. He didn't respond immediately, and that hesitation told me everything. It's not that simple, he said. Of course it wasn't. Nothing about this was. My phone buzzed again. I looked down, and this time, my hands actually started shaking because the message had changed. No countdown, no instructions, just one line. He already failed. I slowly looked up at the man in the gray coat, and for the first time, he looked afraid. Listen to me, he said quickly. You need to get out of here, right now. Don't wait for the next... His voice cut off, mid-sentence. And I'll never forget what happened next, because right in front of me, the man in the gray coat started bleeding. No warning, no sound, just blood spreading across his coat. People started screaming. Someone called for help, but I couldn't move, because my phone buzzed one more time. And when I looked at it, I realized something horrifying. The time on the screen had changed. 10 minutes remaining. And underneath it, a final message. You're next. I couldn't breathe, not because of the crowd, not because of the chaos, but because of what I was looking at. The man in the gray coat was still sitting next to me. At the exact same time, he was also lying on the floor, bleeding. Yeah, 2 of him. One slumped forward, motionless, people screaming around him. The other, right beside me, alive, frozen, staring straight ahead. I slowly turned my head toward the version sitting next to me, and that's when he whispered, without moving his lips, "Now you understand." I jumped back so fast I almost fell. "What is happening?" I shouted. But no one responded to me. They were all focused on the body, the other body. It was like I wasn't fully there anymore. "You're seeing it now," he said, calmly, still not looking at me. Both timelines overlapping. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. "Stop talking like that and explain it." He finally turned to me, slowly. "When the countdown starts, you're no longer in just one moment." I shook my head. "That doesn't make any sense." "It doesn't have to," he replied. "It's already happening." I looked back at the crowd. Paramedics were rushing in, kneeling beside the body, trying to save him. "Can they fix it?" I asked. He didn't answer. And that silence, that was the answer. My phone buzzed again. I didn't want to check, but I did. 7 minutes remaining. And underneath it, something new. A video. My hands were shaking as I tapped it. And what I saw, I wish I hadn't. It was we, running inside the station. Same clothes, same place, same moment. But I wasn't watching from my perspective. I was watching from above. Again. In the video, I was pushing through the crowd, panicked, desperate. And then, the camera zoomed in on something behind me. A man, wearing a black hoodie, walking calmly, directly towards me. I paused the video, turned around in real life, scanning the crowd. And there he was. Black hoodie, same pace, same direction. My chest tightened. "That's him," I whispered. The man in the gray coat nodded slightly. "That's how it happens." "What do you mean, how it happens?" I snapped. "You run," he said. "He follows. You panic. You make mistakes." I felt anger rising now. "Then I won't run," I said. "I'll just stay right here."
For the first time, he looked directly into my eyes. "You already tried that. That sentence. It hit harder than anything else." "What are you talking about?" I asked. He pointed at my phone. "Play the rest." I hesitated, but I pressed play. In the video, I stopped running, just like I said I would. I stood still, trying to stay calm. And for a second, it looked like it worked. The man in the hoodie slowed down, stopped. Then, he smiled. Not normal, not human. And suddenly, everything glitched. The video distorted, like reality itself was breaking. And in the next frame, he was right behind me. The video cut to black. I froze, completely frozen. "No," I whispered. "That's where you die," the man in gray said quietly. My phone buzzed again. 4 minutes remaining. I felt it now. Not just fear, not panic. Pressure, like something was closing in from all sides. "There has to be a way out," I said. "There has to be something different I can do." "There is," he said. I looked at him instantly. "But it's the one thing you won't want to do." "Tell me," I said. He leaned closer, and for the first time, there was urgency in his voice. "You have to go toward him." I stared at him. "Are you insane?" "If you run, you die. If you hide, you die. If you freeze, you die." He paused. "But if you break the sequence..." My phone buzzed again, cutting him off. I looked down, and this time, the message wasn't for me. It was from me. Same number, same phone, but the timestamp was 3 minutes in the future, with one sentence: "Trust him." Slowly, I looked back at the man in the gray coat, and this time, something felt different, because his expression had changed. Not calm, not tired, but something else. Something closer to anticipation. My phone buzzed again. 2 minutes remaining. And in that moment, I realized something that made everything worse. If that message really came from me, then one of two things was true. Either I survive long enough to send it, or something else sends it for me. 2 minutes. That's all I had left. 2 minutes to decide who was lying, the man in the gray coat or me. I looked down at my phone again. That message, don't trust him, still sitting there, still fresh, still impossible. Slowly, I stood up, took a step back from the man in the gray coat. I need you to tell me the truth, I said. I already did, he replied calmly. No, not your version, the real one. For the first time since I met him, he smiled. And that's when I knew something was wrong. Truth doesn't matter anymore, he said. Only outcomes. My heart dropped. Behind me, the crowd was still in chaos. Paramedics, sirens, people shouting. But all of it felt distant now, like background noise. Because right in front of me, something shifted. The lighting flickered, just for a second. And when it came back, the station looked different. Same place, same people, but slightly off. Movements delayed, voices echoing too long, like reality itself was lagging. Do you see it? He asked. I didn't answer. You're slipping, out of sync. My phone buzzed again. 1 minute remaining. And underneath it, final sequence initiated. What does that mean? I asked, but he didn't answer. Instead, he stood up and took a step toward me. Instinctively, I stepped back. Stay away from me, I said. You don't have time for fear. Another step. That's when I noticed it. His shadow. It wasn't matching his movement. It was delayed, just like everything else. And suddenly, it clicked. You're not ahead of me, I said slowly. You're behind. He stopped. For the first time, his expression broke, just slightly. But it was enough. You died 3 days ago, you said. He didn't respond. You're not helping me, I said. You're repeating something. Silence. And then, very quietly, he said, I'm trying to fix it. A chill ran down my spine. Fix what? I asked. But I already knew the answer. Us. My phone buzzed violently. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. I looked down. Notifications flooding the screen. Dozens of them. All from me. All with different timestamps. Run. Don't run. Trust him. Don't trust him. Go left. Stay still. My head started spinning. This isn't helping, I whispered. No, he said. It's not supposed to. I looked up at him. What? This isn't guidance, he said. It's noise. The word hit me instantly. Noise. Not instructions, not fate. Interference. Something wasn't trying to save me. It was trying to overwhelm me, break my decisions, force me into chaos. Why? I asked. And that's when everything stopped. The movement, the sound, the people. All of it. Frozen. Like someone hit pause on the world. Except for 2 things. Me and the man in the black hoodie. Standing about 20 feet away. Looking directly at me. Smiling. My phone buzzed one last time. 30 seconds remaining. He started walking toward me. Slow, calm, unstoppable. I looked at the man in the gray coat. What do I do? I asked. And this time, he didn't hesitate. Do the one thing the system can't predict. My heart pounded. And what's that? I asked. He looked me dead in the eyes. Choose nothing. I froze. What? No reaction, no decision, no movement. Break the chain completely. The man in the black hoodie kept getting closer. 20 seconds.
Every instinct in my body screamed to run. 15 seconds. My muscles tensed. 10 seconds. He was close now, too close, smiling wider, reality flickering harder. 5 seconds. I closed my eyes and did the hardest thing I've ever done. Nothing. No movement, no fear, no choice. Just stillness. 3. The buzzing stopped. 2. Everything went silent. 1. And then darkness. Complete darkness. No sound, no feeling, no time. Just one final vibration in my hand. I looked down at my phone. One last message. Outcome unexpected. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in Union Station anymore. No crowd, no noise, no body on the floor. Just silence. Endless, empty silence. I was standing in what looked like the same station, but stripped of everything. No people, no movement, no time. Just structure, walls, light, stillness. And in my hand, my phone, still on, still glowing. The screen changed again. Not a message this time, a question. Do you want to continue? That was it. No countdown, no threat, no explanation. Just that. I looked around. Hello? I called out. No response. Who's doing this? I shouted. Nothing. And that's when I realized something terrifying. For the first time since this started, there were no instructions, no guidance, no interference, just me and a choice. I looked back at the screen. Yes? No. Simple, clean, final. And that's when it hit me. This whole time, I thought I was being hunted, tracked, controlled. But what if that wasn't true? What if all those messages, all those warnings, all those contradictions weren't there to guide me, but to test me, to see how I react under pressure, how I choose when every choice feels wrong? The man in the gray coat, the one who died 3 days ago, what if he didn't fail? What if he chose to keep going and got stuck trying to fix something that was never broken? And the man in the black hoodie, what if he wasn't chasing me, but triggering me, pushing me toward panic, toward predictable behavior? Because predictable people are easy to control. But someone who does nothing, someone who breaks the pattern, that's unexpected. I looked at my hands, still shaking slightly, but my mind clearer than it had been all day. No more games, I said quietly, and I looked back at the phone. Do you want to continue? I thought about everything, the fear, the countdown, the versions of me trying to
Warn myself. And I realized something else. If I pressed yes, the game continues. More loops, more timelines, more versions of me trying to survive something designed not to be beaten. But if I pressed no, what happens then? Does it end? Or do I end? That was the real question. And I don't think there's a safe answer. My thumb hovered over the screen, and right before I made my choice, the phone buzzed one last time. A final message. From me. No timestamp, no future, no past. Just one line. This is the only moment that's real. I took a breath, and I smiled. Just a little. Because for the first time, I understood. Not the system, not the rules, but the truth. Control was never the point. Choice was. And whatever happens next, at least this time, it's mine. I pressed the screen.